Welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review, episode number 35. This is reviewing the sixth Case Closed film, The Phantom of Baker Street. This film is noteworthy for two things. One, it's the last film to release dubbed from Funimation. The other is that it's the last one to have hand-drawn animation. Released in 2002, it's also of the first six films, this is the longest. This film is an hour and 48 minutes. Yeah, this one was almost 2 hours long. It's a very long movie to sit through, but it's exciting, it's interesting, and well, I love it. Film starts out with a kid. They think his name is Haruki, where he is a very lonely kid, and he apparently is not allowed to go to the park. He basically spends on developing this particular program called Noah's Ark, and then he supposedly finished the program, downloads his mind to the basically copies his entire mind to Noah's Ark. And of course, then he does something. Of course, his adoptive father, later revealed to be his actual father, comes down. Also, I thought this was really weird. Okay, this film's released in English, and there's subtitles in here for English. Well, there kind of is an explanation for that, and that, well, these characters being in English. Well, the reason for that is because, well, these characters are in fact Americans. Yep. So yeah. So apparently he blocks her with a chair, and he goes outside. Apparently his balcony's got like a swing set on it, and then he decided to commit suicide by jumping off. Yep. Not seen again until later on in the film. The film cuts 2 years later. We have, well, the characters and pretty much some of the cast of the series. Basically, Rachel, Serena, Richard, Conan, Detective Boys, well, Junior Detective League, and Anita, along with Dr. Gasa, along with Conan's father, Booker Kudo, are invited to this special gaming conference. Basically, being these cocoons, you can sort of like it's like a virtual reality type of environment. Though I think if VR nowadays, people think of those bodies people wear, not these cocoons. They look like something like Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh yeah, and apparently all of the participants are sons of people from rich families. What's the matter? You can't get people who actually can who maybe could afford this? You can't get people from the regular elementary school? No, let's get a bunch of pricks. Yes, let's get a bunch of kids that are not very nice. Heck, these kids are playing soccer inside near statues and glass. Oh yeah, and it takes a while. It takes until they knock up a freaking dagger and those. Oh yeah, probably shouldn't play inside. Should take it outside. Heck, even Serena basically points out that these kids are being jerks. And like they're being jerks to the junior detective. He's like, ha ha, we're rich, we can do whatever the heck we want. Yeah. And some of these kids, like, one son of a politician, one son of a deputy police commissioner. Yeah. So, of course, also, while this is also going on, the president of the company, you actually see him do this. He goes down to an IT guy, and he basically confronts him over this particular DNA program that Noah's Ark is, and he says he doesn't want money, he just want basically him to basically take exception to it. Okay. And then he takes out a knife, you don't see what type of knife it is, and you see him stab it. I'm like, okay, yeah, look how this is filmed, because in Canada they would not actually regularly do this that very much. Show the murderer ahead of time. He just goes up to him really quickly, stabs him, and bam, done. He wipes up the knife, and he just basically puts it back exactly where he found it. Though they do show that later on, that kid knocked off dagger, and not to get in trouble, put the dagger back. Look if the thing was made of metal, not made of glass, because it was a big trouble anyways. So they proceed to, well, go in the cocoons. Conan basically gets a badge because, well, Gasa basically helped design the damn thing, along with, of course, Booker Kudo. Basically wrote the program and has some designs. I will get to basically stuff. Yeah, and they also basically reveal, and apparently the guy's name is JTR. What is that? Jack the Ripper, as in the famous serial killer from 1890, who terrorized London for 2 months. Yep. So Conan has to go inside to check out who Jack the Ripper is. Though, according to the story, it was going to be somebody else than who actually is some crazy lunatic. And Conan goes, and of course, Rachel decides to go along because, well, Serena gave her back because she has no desire to play anyways. She goes, and also the Junior Detective League also get these little entry badges as well, thanks to trading them for mass Yabba cards. Yep. And they all go in, and of course, Rachel's like the only one who's not actually a little kid in this whole scenario. She's actually the oldest out of everybody there, which is quite something. And they go and they have like 5 different scenarios they go to. Let's go to King Solomon's Mines, become Indiana Jones. Go to the Colosseum, become a Roman gladiator. Let's see. There's also become a Viking, a race car driver, and the 5th one. This is one Conan wants to go to. Go to 1890 London to fight Jack the Ripper. Which I'm sure Conan's like, yeah, I'm going to that. So basically, him, the Junior Detective League, Rachel, and the 4 little pricks. That's how they go to 1890 London. And yeah, it looks like so different. Heck, Rachel's like, wow, this is such an accurate creation. And yes, this is basically, from what I read, this is how accurate how London was during this period of time. A bunch of smog. This is also caused by burning coal. Yeah. At least got praised for accuracy. And all of a sudden, a murder happens. The 3rd one. Of course, they also explain later on that, like, less than an hour later, we have another murder victim. The 4th murder victim of Jack the Ripper. That is actually true. Yes, Jack the Ripper murdered his third and fourth victim in the span of 1 hour and 1 night. Yes, that is indeed true. The first one he killed near a church. I think this is true. I don't know. It's been a while because I remember reading that apparently that his first victim was near like some alley. Oh yeah, and here's the thing with all the women. They were all prostitutes. I get the reason why in the movie they don't mention the fact they're prostitutes because you gotta at least have kids play. But yeah, kids are scared, probably Jack the Ripper. They probably don't need to mention the fact these women are freaking prostitutes. Yep. And of course the Bobby mentions, oh yeah, contact Inspector Lestrade. It goes like Inspector Lestrade. Is Sherlock Holmes in this game? And yes, he is, though he's not actually there. They go to 22B Baker Street. Like if Rachel remembers basically all the knowledge of Sherlock Holmes thanks to basically Jimmy bragging to her back in the pilot episode of the series. Yep. So they go to 222 Baker Street. They open the door, and it's Sherlock Holmes' landlady, Mrs. Hudson. And despite the fact they identify Miss Hudson, they don't say her name the whole time they're there. And I'm sure Conan's like so happy. Yeah, though he does mention like sort of a recreation of this thing in the London arc of the series, which is where he confesses feelings. Well, when he transforms back to Jimmy, and confessed that he tells Rachel he loves her because feelings for her. Yep. So and of course Conan sits basically like Sherlock Holmes would, and like. And they see a picture of what Sherlock Holmes looks like, and it's like, okay, we see Dr. Watson's like, obviously this is based upon Agatha, and of course, well, Sherlock Holmes is based upon his father, so there's that. And of course, well, they also mention the date, and it says, oh yeah, they're all fighting the Hound they're off at the Baskerville estate, fighting the Hound Baskervilles. Yep. Despite the fact that at this point in time, for what they mentioned here, it takes place a year before that events of that particular novel. Which, if anybody's ever seen Hound Baskervilles, it's a good story. It's a good. If you've ever seen it, any of the many adaptations, like oh my gosh, it is probably by far the most adapted Sherlock Holmes story to date. This particular story has been adapted like 100 times. Seems like every year we have to have another adaptation of Hound of Baskervilles. At least as a reference, not exactly an adaptation of it. Look around his house. Surprisingly, Conan doesn't take out his violin and start playing it. I mean, did the movie forget the fact that Sherlock Holmes is a violin player and like not have the violin? But apparently now, yes, Sherlock Holmes does own a gun. From what I remember, some stories. Like it's been a while since I read Sherlock Holmes stories, and he does have a gun. He doesn't use it. He never uses it. He owns a gun, but he doesn't use it. He's like, okay, can't find Sherlock Holmes. Let's go find his arch nemesis. Let's go find Professor Moriarty and Colonel Sebastian Moran. Basically, characters which the creator of the series loosely based upon 2 characters of the Black Organization, like the boss is based on Professor Moriarty, and Rum is based on Colonel Sebastian Mann. So they go find Colonel Sebastian at this pub, where Conan spots, and of course the two little pricks follow him, and spots, yeah, Colonel Mann is cheating at poker. Yeah, and of course the kids basically kind of spoil it, and well, apparently one of them had to take Sherlock Holmes' gun, and they proceed to get into sort of a fight with it, and like, everybody gets an action. Even Rachel beats the crap out of several of these people. Though two of the Junior Detective League gets taken out, basically just Amy and Mitch. I think it's Amy. Amy and George get taken out by accident. Yeah, as for how Amy and George get taken out, it's basically a little bizarre. It's like they get whacked with a chair, and like that's it, really. In real life, basically getting whacked with a chair does almost nothing. Cause pain, yes, but it doesn't kill them. I mean, George got shot, yes, but yeah, I can accept that, but whacked with a chair? Seriously? That's stupid. So yeah, even though Kurt Mann is basically just, well, wounded, he's basically got bullet grazed. He's like, has Sherlock Holmes guns like asking him about, well, the whole thing of they work with Sherlock Holmes. I should point out also that when Mrs. Hudson basically has sort of like a glitch with her, like, oh, you must be back 2 weeks ago. And of course, Conan mentions about the Baker Street Regulars, which these characters are from the original stories. And of course, the Junior Detective League are based upon the Baker Street Regulars. And this is actually referenced in the episode, in the two-parter, The Man from Chicago, where basically they mention about them being the Detective Boys, so that's what they call themselves in the sub. And which, oh yeah, he must be the Baker Street Regulars. Because he's from the UK originally. Even though he's from Chicago, but he's originally from the UK. Yep. Yep. And that's how they get inside. So, they go meet Professor Moriarty. Mr. Moriarty is a puppet master. And, like, they think this guy's servants, of course, be polite with him, like, wait. So, like, you want to keep him waiting. And you think this guy in the carriage is Moriarty, but nope, it's not him at all. It's actually the driver. And Conan points out he's ventriloquism. And Moriarty is the only person Colonel Sebastian Moran will be polite to. And basically, it's revealed that Jack the Ripper was someone that was trained by Professor Moriarty to kill. So, yeah, so he had to kill. So, like, track him basically, dedicated to him. And so and as for where they stayed overnight, it's never revealed. Like, possibly they may have got back to 222B Baker Street. They could have got back there, but they don't particularly say what, like, oh, then cut to, like, next day. I'm like, okay, where do they spend the night in this first reality? And, of course, we have Conan go to the first crime scene, which they don't mention anything about the first murder. No, but there's something interesting about the second murder. All three of these rings. So, yeah, and then they bring out a paper that Jack the Ripper's next target is Irene Adler, the only woman Sherlock Holmes ever loved. And they go meet her, and she's modeled after Jimmy's mother. Yeah, his beautiful mother, who's, by the way, pushing 40. She looks great for her age. Yeah, of course, when of course, Rachel is like, oh, it's Jimmy's mom. I was like, and she's like, I'm nobody's mother, because, well, she never had any kids, not that I could think of. But yeah, they actually, they want to cancel her. It's like, no, but you'll protect her. It's like, yeah, they'll protect her. And of course, most everybody gets knocked out of this particular scenario, with the exception of Rachel, Conan, and the other prick who basically stays there. And after protecting her, they go after Jack the Ripper, chased to a train. I know this is a non-Morris Express, and according to Booker Hudo, that, yeah, this is the most dangerous part of the game. And then they confront the passengers, and they reveal, though, about the rings, that one belongs to a parent, the other belongs to a child. And apparently whoever has this small child ring has a very thin finger. And it's pointed out to be this woman over here, red hair. I should point out, though, that was actually a theory that people had about Jack the Ripper, that he may have been possibly a woman. Yes, the most common theory about Jack the Ripper is that he was a doctor, well, basically someone who has knowledge of medicine, or at least some of surgery, because at least this thing didn't actually have mention the fact this guy removed body parts. Yes, Jack the Ripper was noteworthy for doing this to a lot of victims. Basically, he would, like, tear into these women like crazy. Like, it is such, like, I'm not going to describe the gore details. Look it up. It is disgusting what Jack the Ripper did when he was roaming around London killing these 5 women. Yeah, and the whole thing about Jack the Ripper being like him posing as a woman, of course, that's a nod to a theory people had about Jack the Ripper. Yeah, it's one of many theories people had about him. Another theory, my dad kind of confirmed this after I saw the film From Hell, that yes, there was a theory that he could have been a Freemason. Yeah. Though the actual ending of this game revealed that Jack the Ripper, the game in this movie, that was going to be an aristocrat. In the film, it was actually some kid who's the son of basically one of the victims, who actually was hesitant killing his own mother, but the only reason why he killed his mother because she abandoned him. Yep. And of course, we find Silver Train, and of course and apparently all passengers disappear, and they get caught up on top of the train, and then like they can find Jack the Ripper. You finally get a chance to hear him talk, and it's like I heard a voice. I'm like, man, this voice sounds familiar. I'm like, oh crap, it's Todd Hepburn. Oh my gosh, Todd Hepburn voicing Jack the Ripper. Awesome. Yeah, so that was my reaction to basically that happening. Of course, Rachel somehow is taken to be tied up like she's a damsel in distress, thrown off a freaking train with Jack the Ripper. And, well, even though she's basically, and of course there's a glitch with this accordion guy, which according to Gotham was not supposed to be in the game. And of course they got the train, and of course they said use the cover stuff red. So Conan and the other guy, their kid left, go to the back car, which is full of red wine, take axes and smash the barrels of all these to cover themselves in red wine. Yep, and then they survive the crash. Yep, and then they go to the place where they started from. The prick basically was actually Noah's Ark itself. He took over the guy's data and just played with them for a while. And apparently he's a person who knows that Conan Egawa is Jimmy Kudo. And of course, because he won, he gets out of the game. Everybody gets out. Everybody's like so happy their kids basically all alive. Yeah, Noah's Ark basically threatened all these kids because he wanted to basically reshape Japan because he wanted the whole repeat of the trend of like corrupt politicians have kids, and the kids become corrupt politicians. All these doctors, very corrupt ones, terrible people. And they might change their stance on some of the things. And, well, yeah, and of course then we cut back to, like after the thing is all with, of course Noah's Ark delays himself, and then we cut after the credits to Conan playing Pac-Man. Yep, he's playing Pac-Man in the middle of the night. Richard Moore is basically sound asleep. And what's Conan doing? In the middle of the night, he's playing Pac-Man because they reveal that Conan is terrible at video games. Yeah. This overall was one fantastic film. And sad this is the last one that was dubbed. Yep. Because I really enjoyed hearing, like, watching these films even after I had long finished up the dub of the series. Yeah, watching these dub films, like, hearing Colin Clickenberg's voice coming out of the mouth of Rachel Morris as the sub-actress, which I've been hearing for quite a while, and Bruce Elliott, Eckert, I think his name is, the guy who voices Richard Moore. Yeah, not since like the dub episodes I basically have heard his voice come out of him, and it's nice to see that now in the series, Baka was voiced by Kyle Herbert. In the one movie he appeared in, well, the first movie he appeared in, that was only film dubbed basically for him and Jin, he was voiced by Christopher Sabat, which is only time I get a chance to voice the character because after this, basically next time these characters show up, they only get a chance to hear these characters sub because Funimation gave them the dub for petty reasons. Okay? But yeah, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my next review. It's going to be a Comic Corner. And of course, also I'm going to do reviews for One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, Boruto, and Moo Review. And today I will review, now since the fact that I've already finished the Magic-Kato, my next series I'm going to do, which I'm going to start today after I finish all the other reviews, will be Blue Exorcist. Yes, Blue Exorcist. I'm starting up that series next. This series is only 38 episodes, and I'm going to do this in about 5 or 6 videos because I'm going to split the first season like kind of in half in a way, where I'm going to cover the first 17 episodes because, well, they're canon episodes. But you'll get my thoughts on those soon. Probably tomorrow or Tuesday at best, okay? But see you in the next few. Bye.